All systems go for the 15th BRICS Summit to be held from Tuesday. A significant gathering in global terms where we expect at least over 40 heads of states and their government representatives to be here in Sandton to discuss on those important issues. It's certainly an important strategic event which will be hosted under the theme BRICS and Africa Partnership for Mutually Accelerated Growth, Sustainable Development and Inclusive Multilateralism. Of course, this morning we've just finished a colorful parade where at least thousands, if not more, of at least every single unit that we've seen in the security and justice cluster being presented before the Minister of Police to safeguard this very important event that we're having over the next 2 days. Minister, thank you so much for joining us on Channel 4 for SABC News. You've discussed a bit and defended the high visibility that we saw here at Innisfree Park ahead of the BRICS Summit. You've spoken about this being a program that you started at least in May and has kicked off way before that. Just talk us through this high visibility and where else you have deployed some of these members to supplement for this Operation Cleanup that you have started in May as the South African Police Services.
Well, maybe let me start from really congratulating the members of the South African Police Service and under law enforcement. That there is a lot of sacrifice. Most of them, as you see here, they are because there are no offs. They have sacrificed their holidays, their vacations and all, and to come and serve the country. We don't have enough figures and numbers to make sure that we are forever this kind of visibility. So we move some of them where they are needed in that particular time. They've been needed, especially in the big cities of mainly would be 4 provinces that are major generators of crime. That is your Gauteng, KZN, Eastern Cape and Western Cape. What we have done, we have analyzed long before the BRICS, what are the times and where the crime that is generated. We've discovered that from Thursday to Monday is a bad time for us. Therefore, police have moved away from having long weekends and all that kind of thing. I don't know how they attend weddings and all that, but they are on the duty. Is all the boots are on the ground, especially from those days. What you see here is just a culmination. It's just putting together what we have been doing. Indeed, we have done it before. There was BRICS before, but the biggest ever that was here was the World Cup, of which we have done. So it's nothing much very new. But it is important that about 51 head of states and government are one place at one time, that it does call for the extra kind of vigilance, agility and mobilization and adding on capacity is exactly what we have done that you have seen here this morning.
Well, significantly you have upped the scale of police visibility rather here in the Sandton area. I can appreciate if you cannot divulge further on these details, but the risk assessment that was done ahead of BRICS and what you were looking at, one would assume that there was quite a high risk ahead of the summit.
Well, I don't know about the high risk. The event itself, it has been asked even by other members of the security cluster, because we did, as the security cluster, special SAPS and the soldiers briefed the cluster, all ministers of cluster. This question was asked. The event itself, by the way, is not termed, is not level at the high risk. The event itself is a medium risk. Then you go to your template, you go to your credentials and all that, and out of that you calculate what is an outcome, what is a level of the risk that comes. So this one is a medium. That does not mean that you are not looking at the maximum security of head of states, of delegates, the people of South Africa themselves that will be surrounding here and all that, including the operations that have happened surrounding here and in the country. And indeed, all analysis tells us that at the present moment we are on top of the situation. Nothing really scares us to say something terrible might happen, and that does not give us the good night to sleep. We still don't have a good night until the day comes, until the last head of state and head of government leave the country. We know after that there will be many more other people that will stay behind. We have to take care of that and make sure that we improve the security of South Africans going far beyond BRICS.